Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be talking about Stephen King's 2014 novel, Mr. Mercedes. We'll show you the points to look for when trying to identify first US and first UK editions, as well as share some thoughts on the work itself. Now, Noah has taught me that language is important when it comes to talking about collecting books. So you have your trade hardcovers, first editions, limited editions, signed, numbered, lettered, all of the above. But since there has been no signed limited edition of Mr. Mercedes, this constitutes the first US edition. So the first edition was published by Scribner, has this really cool kind of foil reflective artwork, and the artwork is just dripping blood. I love it. Inside the flap, look for a price of US $30, and on the copyright page, look for a number line that includes the number 1. If your book does not have a number line, or if it does not have a priced jacket, it is some style of book club edition. So look for both points. When you take its clothes off, it has black boards and red over the spine with silver printing. So nothing super fancy, nothing to write home about, but still a good-looking book. There is the first US edition of Mr. Mercedes. I will pass things off to Noah to show the first UK.
Hey everyone, so today we're going to take a look at the UK first edition of Mr. Mercedes, published by Hodder and Stoughton, of course. It's just a trade edition, so I don't have too much to say about it. The price on the jacket is £20 UK, and it's got some nice illustrated end papers, and the printing line on the copyright page just has 1 to indicate first printing, and that's the book. So there you have it, UK first trade edition of Mr. Mercedes.
And now a word about our sponsor.
Did you know that Thomas, the proprietor of StephenKingCollector.com, apart from being a gentleman, a Stephen King scholar, and an all-around good guy, also produces slipcases for Stephen King books? It's true. Not for every single Stephen King title, but for a select few, some of the more highly sought after and collectible books that you might have on your shelves. Thomas, over at Stephen King Collector, has created slipcases to help protect your investment. I've owned a few of these over my years of collecting. I no longer own any as of this moment because I've sold off so much of my collection. But I can attest that Thomas's slipcases are the perfect balance of value and durability. So they're nice, heavy weight. I always felt like they were very sturdy and they would hold up. Some slipcases that I've purchased are really thin and they kind of wobble and flex in your hands. Thomas's slipcases are nice and thick and sturdy, and they are covered and they have artwork sometimes. At the very least, they display the title of the book and the author. When I had my early Dark Tower books, I had Thomas's slipcases for books 2, 3, and 4. And they looked really nice. The case spine out, you could still see the title and Stephen King's name, which meant that I could leave the book spine in toward the wall, which helped protect it from fading and from sun damage, which was worth it in my opinion. The price that I paid for those books was less than what they were actually worth. So for around an additional $40 per book, I was able to add this extra layer of protection, which I felt like was more than worth it. So head on over to skcollector.com and check it out. Link below in the description for this video. Now, I know the Bill Hodges Trilogy is, some people love it, some people, I wouldn't say people hate it, but some people love it and some people love it a little less. And it has the dubious distinction of being the origin point of one Holly Gibney, who has since transcended the original Bill Hodges trilogy and has gone on to star in several books of her own, including, I understand, Stephen King's next book, which he will call Always Holly or Forever Holly, or Holly's the only character I'm ever going to write again, or something along those lines. Anyway, she's only a supporting character in Mr. Mercedes, and a pretty entertaining and quirky one, or so I thought when I first read this book 10 years ago. So I did a video where I ranked the 2010s, and I truly believe that the 2010s is one of the most varied and creative decades of Stephen King's entire career to date. The 2020s, I don't think are shaping up to be as strong, but the 2010s I thought was fantastic. He took some chances, he branched out, he did some new things, of which Mr. Mercedes is one. So it's more of a crime procedural. It's still decidedly a Stephen King book. It has some really scary moments, some gruesome moments, some kind of perverse and um, icky touches that should it has some really kind of perverse touches that are decidedly Stephen King, but it also for the first time really focuses on a police officer trying to solve a crime and doing police officery type things. So the book starts with a bang and it ends with a bang. I think sometimes going into it, Stephen King probably has really vivid ideas for certain elements of the story. And only in retrospect, after you've read a book, can you kind of see where that detail was the most fleshed out in his imagination. And in Mr. Mercedes, it's very much the opening scene with the Mr. Mercedes of the title using his giant German death machine to wreak havoc on a group of people waiting at a outside at a job fair. Just gut wrenching, horrifying, classic Stephen King scene. And then the end of the book, it has one of the most tremendous finales of any Stephen King book that I can think of. Sometimes his books, often the endings just kind of fizzle out. They just kind of peter out. Mr. Mercedes has a great ending. And all the in between stuff is a pretty spirited and inspired game of cat and mouse, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It did, of course, go on to spawn two sequels, of which the second book, Finders Keepers, which was to me the most surprising and perhaps my favorite of the trilogy. But it all started with Mr. Mercedes, and I think it represented a bold and exciting new moment of inspiration in Stephen King's career. I do kind of lament that it also spawned Holly Gibney, who, in my opinion, has rather outstayed her welcome. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Any day when Stephen King is out there getting his words in, as he did today, whatever he's writing about, that's a good day. And that's a very, very special thing we should all be thankful for. But anyway, if you haven't read Mr. Mercedes, you should check it out because it's a bit off the beaten path for Stephen King. It's really unusual, but it's also decidedly classically Stephen King. I don't know how best to put it. Let me know in the comments. Did you like Mr. Mercedes? Did you hate Mr. Mercedes? Have you not read it yet? I tried really hard not to give everything away in this video, as I so often do, because I want you to have the chance to experience it for the first time if you haven't. Let me know your thoughts about Mr. Mercedes, about the Bill Hodges trilogy, about Holly Gibney. Let me know in the comments. But until next time, thank you, as always, to my collaborator, Noah. Thank you to channel sponsor Thomas over at skcollector.com. And thank you to you, the viewers, for your comments, for your likes, for your questions, for your emails, all of the above. I really enjoy it, and it means a lot to me. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. So anyway, take care of yourselves. I will talk to you later. Bye.